had to start lawn care over today, these are the exact things that I would actually do differently. We've been treating lawns here in West Michigan for about 25 years now, and we've learned a ton of things, what to do, what not to do, what works for homeowners, what doesn't work. So in the next few minutes, I'm gonna be giving you 20 years of lawn care advice that we use every day here to make lawns green, thick, and weed free. I'm gonna be telling you all the secrets. Let's dive in. The very first thing that we've learned is that lawn care and the lawn results in general are a process. It is not a one-time or a one-visit fix. It takes numerous attempts, efforts, and time. Most people call us when their lawn gets way too out of shape and they're expecting a very nice manicured golf course green, and in all reality, that's just not gonna happen. It takes time, it takes effort. We need to figure out what's going on in the soil. Sometimes sun, shade, kind of grass mixes are here, and how we can custom blend our program to have the best results for that customer over time. The second thing that we've always come across is watering. To water too much or too little. Most customers are in one of those two categories. They're not really always in between. People think that you wanna water every single day for 20 to 30 minutes, zone, soak the lawn, and that's what they think is right. Now, sometimes that might work for you depending on your location, but here in Michigan, especially with our hot summers, we actually want to do deep, infrequent watering. Infrequent. That means we want to get those grass roots soaked all the way down a couple inches. We do not want to water every day because that will train our grass roots to stay at the surface and therefore go dormant when it heats up and they're not getting that water that they expect. So make sure you're in that in between. Most people think that just because we get a little bit of rain once a week, that's enough water. Maybe in the very early springtime, that's okay. But again, they're like, oh, we got rain last week, especially in the summertime when temps start getting into the 80s. Your lawn is going to need a little more water than that, especially when it's windy out too. Wind and sun exposure really dries out the grass, dries out the lawn. Therefore, you want to make sure you're watering either manually or with underground sprinkling. Again, that deep and frequent watering for about 20 to 30 minutes is the ideal time to water. Timing. Best time to water is very early morning. You want between 7 to 9 a.m. typically, because that grass can absorb that water, can get down into the roots. If you're watering midday, a lot of that water is evaporating by the sunlight before it even reaches the soil roots. We don't want that lawn wet at all going into the nighttime, because then what that's going to do is that's going to be prone and create a breeding ground for that fungus to enter these grass blades. That's why we want it dry going into the night. We want to water that early morning time frame, and we want the lawn as dry as possible going into the night. Mowing height. What's the best height? You never want to cut more than 1/3 of that grass blade off, because that's going to very much affect that grass root, especially in the summertime. Our rule of thumb, and during most times, and this is going to be exception in the fall time before the lawn goes dormant, but most times you want that lawn at or above 3 inches all times. That's going to create the best success for the grass, the most blade on there, therefore not affect the soil roots as much if you're cutting at 3 inches or more. Another thing with mowing is you want to make sure you have a sharp blade, because we want to make sure we're cutting these grass blades off very clean. If we're not cutting these blades off clean, you can see they're kind of ripping and tearing at that top. That again can be a nice breeding ground for fungus and allow fungus to enter that grass blade, therefore giving your lawn a disease, which you do not want, especially in the summer. Now we're going to talk about broadleaf weeds or weeds in general. Most people focus on just eliminating the weeds out of the lawn, or they don't want to see any weeds. So we have our clover here. We can clearly see it's coming up. It's in the grass here. But what they don't focus on is how to prevent the weeds in the first place. As we can see here, this lawn is very thin and patchy. Because it's thin and patchy, there's not grass here. A nice thick turf is really the truly best defense against any broadleaf weeds. So we can spray these every time we're out, but in all reality, they're just going to keep coming back because there's nothing to stop them. Instead of just focusing on killing the weeds, we want to focus on really thick, healthy turf that's fertilized and fed with the proper watering, and that's your best overall defense. The next thing, of course, is very important. Early spring is we're going to be talking pre-emergents. What are those? They're going to prevent your crabgrass from actually growing up, germinating. It's all about the timing and consistency with that application. There's two different modes of crabgrass that are commercially available. There's an early season one and a later season one. That early season one you really want going down in the March time frame, and the second one, it can actually go down when it starts to germinate, because it'll even kill some of the newly germinated. So it's kind of a pre and a post product. A lot of homeowners skip the pre-emergent and don't think it's a big deal, but it really can be one of the most important steps into preventing crabgrass and making sure you have a nice, healthy, crabgrass-free lawn for the entire season. A thing we're really commonly seeing now is stop chasing internet or AI hacks. Some of these things can be wrong or even hurt your lawn. There's like dish soap, there's vinegar, there's all these organic, natural stuff that they claim are gonna work, but in reality, we've tested them ourselves. They don't really work a lot of those times. The basic things we do every day work for a reason. Fertilization, proper mowing, good watering, targeted and timed weed control. Those are the essentials that you really want to follow every 4 to 6 weeks, and you can have a nice healthy turf without doing any of those crazy science experiments at your house. Most lawns are built through solid fundamentals, not magic tricks. Best time to fix the lawn is before it looks bad. A lot of people wait until the lawn is really in despair, until there's tons of thin spots like that, until it's full of broadleaf weeds. And can we fix that? Of course, but that's just going to take further time. If you actually have it starting off sooner in the season, you could prevent these weeds. We can get some grass seed down. We can thicken up the turf. and we can hopefully prevent a lot of the issues from even starting than if you were to do nothing and just wait for kind of nature to take its course. The earlier you stay ahead of your problems, the easier lawn care becomes. After 20 years, what truly makes the biggest difference in lawn care and having a nice, thick, healthy turf stand, these are the main things: proper and timed targeted fertilization, pre-emergence at the correct time as well, targeted weed control, proper watering, good mowing practices, patience, aerate and seed thin areas, and no magic tricks. Those are the things that we found to be most successful, especially when the customer is patient and is willing to work with us. A lot of times we see great results. Hopefully this video helped you avoid some of the costly mistakes, helped you focus on something for your lawn this season, and hopefully can set you up for success. We've been doing this 20 years in West Michigan. We'd love to help you out. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. Hit our inbox. We'd love to help you out. Until next time, this was Jordan with Lawn Doctor. See you later.